Welcome to the Diary of a Ghanaian Lawyer, the podcast that explores the lives, the minds, and the missions of lawyers in Ghana and beyond, whilst unveiling the untaught, the unheard, and the unforgettable. I'm Lawyer Frederica, your host for this podcast. Hey, we keep growing and reaching more people, and we would like to thank you all for listening, watching, liking, and sharing. We are very grateful, and please don't stop. Now, today's episode is one of the most empowering ones yet because we are tackling a phrase that's become a courtroom cliche but still holds deep truth. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Now, let's be honest. I get dozens of DMs on legal issues that, in my opinion, should have been common knowledge by now. Not necessarily because everyone must be a lawyer, but because legal educators have flooded the digital space with accessible and simplified legal content. Yet, too many people still walk into legal traps uninformed and unaware. So today, I'm spotlighting some amazing lawyers and platforms or even non-lawyers who are taking the law from lofty chambers to your smartphones and other gadgets. But let's make this clear. Legal education online is not here to replace the legal profession. Instead, it's here to equip the everyday Ghanaian to understand their rights, their responsibilities, and the rules of engagement in society. So let's get into it. One might ask, why is it important to know the law? The answer is simple. Ignorance of the law does not erase its existence. So whether it's in business, your relationships, property, or even social media conduct, not knowing the law won't save you when you eventually break it. So what's the solution? Well, you don't have to go to law school like I did, but you can, and you actually should listen. You should read. You should watch these contents from the lawyers that I'm about to highlight because they're actually breaking the law down for you. And it's really the least you can do for yourself and the world as a whole to be informed. One might ask, okay, I'm ready to be informed. Where do I start from? Of course, being here with me is a huge step to curing any ignorance you have pertaining to the law. I also took great pains to ask around, and I did a couple of research on Ghana's top legal educators online, and these names popped up. So these people, lawyers, non-lawyers, as well as institutions, have taken it upon themselves to bring the law to our smartphones. Let's not take it for granted. So today we are going to highlight them and support them in helping us know and understand the law. First on the list is my lovely classmate, Lawyer Tina. Now she is the go-to name now in Ghana for simplified legal education in both English and Twi. You can find her on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Just Google her, she's everywhere. She explains everything from making a will to how to defend yourself legally. Just type Lawyer Tina on Google and see for yourself what she has out there. She works with Legal Aid Commission, the government institution that believes that lack of money should not be a barrier to seeking justice. Now, in case you've not heard of the Legal Aid Commission, it's the government's way of providing quality legal services to the poor and vulnerable in the society, and also to bring justice to the doorstep of people. You can check the Legal Aid Commission website for their contacts, or you can also check my website, gorogirl.com, for contacts and locations to the nearest legal aid office to you. Now, to our latest sensation, Yuda Brown. He's not a lawyer yet, but he's a great legal educator. He makes it a point to address the law on current issues, amongst others. I love the work he puts into it. I love his dedication and his consistency. And I would love to see his content and his perspective when he starts practicing the law, because sometimes I go to his pages to refresh my knowledge on what the law actually is, because sometimes reality is different. If he comes across this podcast, I say keep it up. You're really doing great, and I wish you all the best. On to the next, we have Legal Abby. Legal Abby. She has a YouTube channel, Legal Abby. You can check it out. Her videos are friendly, they are informative, and they are very relatable. They are perfect for those who are seeking to understand the law in Ghana from a young female professional's perspective. She also does follow-up questions in the form of a poll, and it helps to cement the law in your memory. You should check her out. We also have the Law Platform. Now, they are not just a brand, they are a hub. I actually love them for making it this far. So with them, whether it's trending legal news, opinion pieces, legislative updates, this platform is your window into Ghana's legal ecosystem. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, X or Twitter, TikTok, and even their own website. You will discover a lot, trust me. There's also Dennis Law Ghana, which is also a legal hub for all court judgments, laws, news, as well as anything related to Ghana, mostly legally related. Now, Dennis Law is now a household name, at least for lawyers, and I'm really glad they've made it this far and then they still exist. We also have Lawyer David A. Esiedu. He's currently with ENS Africa. In my opinion, Lawyer David is the LinkedIn lawyer for the thinkers. If you prefer reading to watching or listening, his posts on LinkedIn are loaded with legal analysis, practical advice, and industry insight. Do check him out. There's always a favorite, Isabel Boatin. She's currently the managing partner of AB and David, and I love her website, isabelsdiscovery.com. Now, over there, you get to see another side of what I'm doing, like the Diary of a Ghanaian Lawyer. She's a great role model, and I'm glad she makes time out of her busy schedule to document part of her life online. You can check her out. On to the next. I came across Ask Lawyer Braco Powers. I think I saw him on TikTok. He simplifies everyday legal challenges and answers trending legal questions in real time. You can check him out too. We also have Make It Legal. Now, it's a wonderful team being led by Lawyer Godwin. You can find them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Make It Legal. Their platform is quite ideal for structured, well-researched legal breakdowns in Ghana. They actually have clean and credible content for professionals and the public alike. I also came across Richard Armour Esquire, or Richard Armour ESQ. So I found him on TikTok with that exact name. He's also known for his bilingual videos, English and Tree. And Lawyer Richard focuses on criminal law, arrest rights, amongst others. Now we also have Legal Talk with Lawyer Adele. I found her on TikTok. I think her username there is Legal Talk with I, and is Lawyer Adele Akolache, if I'm right. She shares short practical videos on family law, inheritance, land ownership, and more. It's actually everyday law, beautifully explained, all pun intended. We also have ESQ and ESQ. I would say Esquire and Esquire, but I just need you to get how they have spelled it well. So they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram. I think I found them on Snapchat too. Now, these two brilliant best friends, they brand themselves as legal girlies, and they are making legal education stylish, sharp, and shareable. You can check out their videos for fun, clearer explanations on the law. And I actually love their video qualities too. I think I need to reach out to them when I start showing my face. We also have May It Please the Pod. Now, this is the podcast to listen to if you are navigating law school or early legal practice in Ghana. They are raw, they are real, and they are relevant. You should check them out. And a personal favorite, All the Way Up podcast by Jeffrey Mensah is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram, to the best of my knowledge. Now, think of Jeffrey's podcast as inside access to some of Ghana's most respected legal minds. There, they have conversations that touch on growth, ambitions, and mentorship, all through a legal lens. You should check them out. You might have one of the greatest people you've so much admired bearing his or her heart out to Jeffrey over there. We also have Cran Daniel ESQ or Esquire. You can find him on TikTok. You can find him on YouTube as Cran Law. He also teaches us a lot there. We also have Case Law Stories by Miss Cancam. I think I came across her on TikTok. I also know of Dofoyena Chambers with their law tips. So they also paraphrase the law and then they give you the exact quotes in the captions. Really good for when you're on your feet and a lawyer springs or a judge springs a principle on you that you don't know, or you actually think there's an opposite law or there's something else to kill them with it. Dofoyena Chambers for the win. There's also 233 Legal. I think I found them on TikTok. You should check them out. And the ultimate, Diary of a Ghanaian Lawyer. Yes, this podcast is your trusted friend in law and life. And it's part of the ecosystem. Of course, I can't say everyone and leave us out. Here, we don't just teach, we tell stories, we share journeys, we peel back the curtain and we show you what it's like to live and breathe the law in Ghana. Now, this will be all for the legal educators, but please leave with this. Let's be clear. These platforms that I've highlighted, they are here to educate. They are here to empower and inform you. But they are not a substitute for professional legal advice tailored to your situation. When in doubt, consult a lawyer. Don't do everything by yourself. Don't handle your divorce thinking, hey, I've watched the TikTok video and they say I can do this and that. At least it gives you a fair idea what your lawyer is supposed to do or what the judge is supposed to do when you are before him or her. So whether you are in Accra or Tamale, online or offline, you have no excuse not to know your rights in this age because the law is everywhere now. The law is in your language, is on your timeline, and is in your ears. Now, shout outs to all the legal educators who are making the law less scary. You're making the law less strict and less stuffy and much more relatable. We are grateful and please keep it up. On to the story time. Today's story is from a colleague and I'm so glad he took time off his busy schedule to record this for us. And it exposes some critical side of the law we don't talk much about. Now let's listen to him.
Hello. So there was this one time I had a matter and I'll not mention the court. It's a very popular court. If I mention where it's located, everybody will know. So as always, I go to courts first and prep. If I've never been to a judge's courtroom, I scout the place, go and sit there, listen to what the judge says, how he says these things, whether he allows arguments or not. And so on that day, I go, I'm well prepped. I know people in the court, so I make sure everything is on file. Every single thing to aid my argument is on file. And I was hoping the judge to come early enough so that I can call my case with a small number of people in the courtroom. Then I don't know what happens. The judge comes around 10. So 10:30, thereabouts, the case is called. And I respectfully beseech the court that we should go into chambers because what I'm about to say, the court will be uncomfortable in dealing with it in open court. So respectfully pray that the court orders us to go into chambers. And the judge says no. This is a judge who has never met me or heard of me. So the judge says no, he's going to do his matters in the open court. I said fine. So I proceed to make my application upon the grant by the judge. So while I'm making my application, the judge realizes that I'm raising very thorny issues. The judge insists that all I'm saying is in error and that is not the position of the law. And I told the judge clearly that this is the position of the law. This is what the law says. And there's no two ways about it. The rules are clear, the practice is clear, the procedure is clear. And this is something I'm very well versed in. I've been doing it a very long time. So the judge should be mindful of the rules. Then the judge asks which rules. Then I point the judge to the rules, the specific rules, what the order says. And the judge says he's already made his decision. I told him his decision was in error. He couldn't have made the decision he made. He was not permitted, or he's not permitted under the law to make the decision he made, because he's made orders. And we do not know on which authority he made those orders. Is it that someone made that prayer before the court and the orders were drawn, or that he did so motu? Because if he did, the rules are clear. Then this judge proceeds to refer to the rules. And in reference to the rules, he realized that what I'm saying is true. So he wants to play smart and says, we don't have any processes on the file. He's not going to listen to me anymore. I told him, no, he should refer to the file. 3 documents down, this is there. 5 documents down, this is there. This is because I had come to prep. And then he checks and he sees it, then he gets visibly pissed. So he asks who is the next, or who is the most senior there. Fortunately, there was someone senior to me, very, very senior, about almost 20 years, 25 years, sitting in the courtroom. And then my lord says, oh, let's go to chambers. In my head, I was like, Baku. Chambers. So all things being equal, we went to the chambers, and I explained the procedure and the process to the court in chambers. He didn't like it. He didn't want to agree. So he asked the opinion of counsel senior counsel, and counsel told him, yes, whatever I've told him is the law, and the law is clear. So it is either he is doing what I'm asking him to do, or he's finding a way to remedy the situation. So the long and short of it is that he gave an order for something to be done, which the disobedience of the said order would have led to contempt, the kind which would require that the contempt not be jailed. Now, there was no application before him. No application had been brought before him praying for that relief, or praying for the grant of any such relief or orders of the court. He proceeded to do the said thing on the powers he had as a judge, which is allowed. But then the requirement is that you state that you are doing the siomotu, not that you have heard someone's prayer and I've read someone's affidavit, so you are granting the said order, which he did. So I asked him to point us to where the motion was filed, what the motion was praying for, who moved the said application, whether the other side was served. Because all of this means that you have to put everything on record. So if you have offered an order based on your rules, you ought to be able to prove to us where the right thing was done. It was like, this matter has been delaying. Sticky is wasting everybody's time and whatnot. So he decided to go on it and do what he wanted to do. I told him, well, he can do that, but he has to do that within the remits of the law. So since he's failed to do that, respectfully, I'll respectfully ask him to cancel out that order, put the necessary orders in place, and then find a way to remedy the situation. Reluctantly, he did. I was happy we ended up doing that in chambers, because the way I'd wanted to do that in open courts would be seen as disrespectful, even though that was not the intent. It would be seen as if I was trying to undermine the powers and authority of the court. So yeah, that's one said incident. I have a lot more I'll share later.
Thank you so much for sharing this, and I know lots of lawyers can relate to such encounters. See, it's tricky when challenging a judge. You need to check the temperament of the judge and his or her mood, at least for that day. Now, the manner in which you put your case across can help your client or not. Sometimes you have to put your ego aside and kowtow to the judge to let him or her see things your way. Other times, you have to be forceful without disrespecting the bench. And yes, seniority is a huge thing when practicing law in Ghana. You can be making an argument and before the judge, and the judge will check in with older lawyers to confirm if your argument holds water. Now imagine having a case against such older lawyers. Sometimes they are presumed to be more experienced and knowledgeable in the law. And if as a young lawyer you don't stand your ground, some judges would just go with the senior lawyer just to play it safe. One thing I've discovered is not all senior lawyers make time to know the new laws, and some of them are still stuck in their old ways. So it's risky to place so much relevance on their opinions only. being young at the bar does not necessarily mean we don't know the proper law or the argument. So let's keep that in mind. Now, that'll be all for today. If you learned something today, share this episode, tag a friend, and follow any of the names mentioned. The future of the Ghanaian law is not just in the courtroom, it's on your screen. Thank you so much for listening to Diary of a Ghanaian Lawyer podcast. I'm your host, Lawyer Frederica. Until next time, stay informed and stay legally aware. Bye.